Good morning student, and now we have to study about the flower. That is, now what is flower is? Flower is the reproductive structure of a plant. That with the help of flower the plant is able to reproduce. So it is the reproductive structure of a plant. Now we'll discuss the various part of the flower first, and we'll talk about the flower. If we talk about the flower, the first thing that comes to the mind is that a stalk, okay, the stalk and a structure which is attached, a swollen structure to it. Okay, this is the swollen structure which is present. So a stalk and a swollen structure come in mind. So what is this stalk is? This is pedicel. This is what? Pedicel. Okay, this is pedicel, and the structure, the swollen structure which is present, that is thalamus, or it is also called receptacle. Okay, this is called thalamus or receptacle. Now I am not making a whole flower, I am making just the whorl of a flower which is present there. So first whorl of the flower which is attached to thalamus is a green color leafy structure which is attached to it, and this is a single is called, so first word that is attached to it is what? It is calyx. The single is called sepal, but means this is sepal, but all the sepal present in a flower together called as calyx. And the work of calyx is the protection at bud stage. At bud stage. Okay. Now the second word that will come in mind, that is a bright colored that present in flower, and that is the petals. Petal means single is called petal, and all petal together is called the second word, that is corolla. It is called corolla, and it is bright color, and the function of corolla is to attract insect for the purpose of pollination, or they have to attract the agencies for the purpose of pollination. Now the third word that is present, that having a two structure, that is a long tube-like structure, and above is the swollen structure, and this is nothing else but this is the lower part that is called as filament. This is called as filament, and the upper part is called as anther, and these together, that is anther and filament together, called as stamen, means single called as stamen, and all the stamen present represent the male reproductive structure, that is third whorl, and that is the third whorl, and that is called androecium, that is male reproductive structure. Okay, this is the androecium, that is the whorl is called androecium. And now the final, which is present at the middle of the thalamus, At the middle of the thalamus present a long and a swollen structure at base. So this swollen structure is ovary. This long filamentous structure is called style, and this is stigma, and all together, that is stigma, style and ovary, together called as pistil. And the pistil is the fourth word, that is called as gynoecium. That is called as gynoecium, that is female reproductive structure. Okay. Now out of these four whorls, the two whorls, that is calyx and corolla, is called as non-essential whorl because they does not participate in a process of reproduction. Whereas these two whorls, that is androecium and gynoecium, is called as essential whorl because it take part in a process of reproduction. So these two are essential and these two are non-essential whorl. Now the flower is said to be a highly condensed modified stem. Now the question come in mind that how the flower is highly condensed modified stem. Now suppose I am making a stem. Okay, I make the stem. Now there is node and internodes are present. Okay, now I am saying that the flower is highly condensed modified stem. Now what happened? At this node, suppose at this node, the sepal will arise. Okay. From this node, the sepal is arised. Okay. Now from next node, that is from this node, a bright color petal is arised. Now from this node, a filament with anther is arise, and from the middle node, the swollen structure, style and stigma is arised. Now the whole flower is there, that is sepal, petal, stigma, and now you will compress it. From the top, you will compress it so they will become together. That is what happened. After compression, what happened? This will be like this. Here will, what happened? This will come here, and what happened? From here the sepal will arise. From here the petal will arise. From here the stamen will arise. And from here the ovary will arise. Now this is the condensed structure that you have pressed it, highly pressed it. That's why the flower is called a highly condensed structure or the condensed modification of stem. Now we have to deal with some technical term with the flower. Now the first term, that is if flower have all the four whorl, that is four whorl means calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, then the flower is called complete flower. Okay, then a flower is called complete flower if all the four whorl are present. If any of the whorl is missing, if any were absent, then that type of flower is called incomplete flower. Okay, that type of flower is called incomplete flower. Now sometime instead of calyx and corolla, instead of calyx and corolla, a special structure is present that is called, means instead of calyx and corolla, a special structure is present that is called perianth. What is called? It is perianth. It is called as perianth. And a group is called as perianth, whereas single it is called as tepal. Okay, it is called as tepals. Now other thing that we have to study, fourth term, that is bisexual. If both reproductive whorl is present, both reproductive whorl present in a same flower, then it is called bisexual flower. Other is unisexual. That is, if only one reproductive whorl is present. Okay, only one reproductive whorl is present, then that is called as unisexual flower. And means if male reproductive part is present, then it is called as staminate flower. And if female reproductive part is present, then this is called as pistillate flower. Okay, staminate flower and a pistillate flower, if only one whorl is present. Now if we talk about, this is about the flower, that is unisexual and bisexual, but if we talk about the plant, then what happened about the plant? So if we talk about plant, and in plant having both type of flower, in plant having both type of flower, that is male and female both, then that type of plant is called monoecious plant. Monoecious plant. An example of monoecious plant is maize, coconut, that is also known as caucus, castor. These are the example of monoecious plant. And if plant have that is only male or female flower, if plant have only male or female flower, then the plant is called dioecious. Then the plant is called dioecious, means they have a separate plant for separate flower. For example, papaya. And in this case, we are start calling plant as male plant or a female plant. So that type of plant is called dioecious plant. Now the next term that we have to study is monocarpic. Monocarpic, when plant produce flower once in a lifetime. When plant produce flower once in lifetime, this is called as monocarpic plant, because, and this is example, that is seasonal flowering plant. Only one time they flower and after that their lifespans khatam, lifespan get ended. Or you can say a crop plant. They are also a monoecious because they flower once in a lifetime and after that the lifespan is ended. The other is The other term is polycarpic. If the plant is able to produce flower year after year, that is 1 or 2 years, if they are producing flower, then they are called polycarpic. For example is tomato. Tomato is the example of polycarpic plant. Now one thing more we have to talk about, that is the symmetry of flower. We have studied the symmetry in animal, now we will have to study the symmetry of the flower. And first symmetry is known as actinomorphic flower. Actinomorphic flower, if we compare to the technical term for flower is actinomorphic. But if we compare it with the symmetry of animal, then we'll also call it as a radial symmetry. Okay, the symmetry is radial symmetry, and the flower is called as actinomorphic flower. Means we can able to cut the flower in 2 equal parts from any of the plane. Suppose there is a flower, we are able to cut it into 2 equal part when we will cut from any plane. Then that type of flower is called actinomorphic flower. The second is zygomorphic flower. Means this, if we compare with the symmetry, it is bilateral symmetry. Means if we want to cut the flower into 2 equal half, we are able to cut it from only a single plane. If we will cut it from a single plane, then we are able to cut it into 2 equal parts. This is the zygomorphic flower. Now in next video, we'll take different whirl of flower and their arrangement and the technical term which is related to them. So we'll study in a next video.